welcome back to the PrettyBrown&Nerdy channel. I'm Jasmine, here with a movie review of Spider-Man Far From Home. We're taking Spider-Man overseas as Peter Parker heads with his classmates on a school field trip across Europe where he encounters a mysterious hero named Mysterio. This review might contain mild spoilers, so if you have not seen Endgame or you have not seen Spider-Man Far From Home, you might not want to tune in on this review, just saying. From the beginning of this film, they just dive straight into it with giving us a cold open of in memoriam scene for the Avengers and everything that happened in Endgame. I think this movie does a really great job in explaining the events that took place with the dusting. In the movie, they call it the blip, where they're essentially, it opens up with kind of like, you know, those morning news class segments, and they're basically giving you the rundown of everything that happened when the blip occurred, how the students are coming back into their life after the events and just trying to move on and progress, and things are really weird and awkward at first for a lot of people. Peter is just honestly not really here for any superhero stuff at the moment. What he's mainly concerned about, he just wants to go on a vacation and hang out with his friends and be with MJ and just lead a normal life. But Nick Fury won't let Peter be great. There's a lot of pressure that he's feeling. You know, Iron Man is gone, the Avengers are off doing their own thing. He's feeling a lot of the pressures to take on the mantle and really take responsibility for a lot of things that are going on right now, and to be the next Iron Man. You'll see that struggle throughout this entire movie of him feeling like he has to live up to the expectations and be the kind of person that Tony was, and be the kind of hero that everyone felt Tony was. First, I will say this movie does an amazing job as far as grabbing you and engaging you as soon as the movie begins. I never felt like the pacing in this film was too off. There were some moments where the movie would kind of slow down, but it would quickly pick back up for me. I will say I never felt like I was bored watching this movie. The characters are all so well done. This movie is funny. You can tell that the cast just has so much chemistry with one another. They all seem to really enjoy being with one another, and that translates on screen with a lot of the characters, especially Ned. He's always been the sort of comic relief for the films, and he is the comic relief in this film as well. Zendaya just does such a good job as MJ. She brings so much personality and breath of life into this character that I honestly haven't seen in previous Spider-Man movies. Tom Holland has just molded into his role as Spider-Man so well, and I honestly would be here to see Tom Holland in many Spider-Man movies to come in the future, because I just really enjoy watching him on screen as Peter Parker. I think he's really got a grasp of this character and really knows what we would look for as an audience, and knows what Marvel is looking for in a lot of ways in how he portrays this character, and he just does a phenomenal job. Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio is perfect. I know that Jake Gyllenhaal has kind of circled around the MCU for a long time. I know at some point there were talks of him possibly replacing Tobey Maguire after he had an injury on a previous movie, but that never did happen. So it's really nice to see Jake Gyllenhaal finally join the MCU and do such a great job at his portrayal as Mysterio. And with that being said, let's really dive into that portion of the movie. I really enjoyed how Mysterio was done in this movie. The special effects were phenomenal. The way they captured his essence on screen, it was just everything I was hoping for and how I pictured. They did a really good job of translating comic book imagery on screen for Mysterio, and just the twist at the end. I know some people are kind of hit and miss with how that was handled with his character. Personally, for me, I can understand that, as you know, in some cases we've seen it in the previous Spider-Man movies, so how we are sort of continuing that narrative in the new Spider-Man just seems kind of odd to me. We should have just given him a completely different character arc in that sense, and not try to have it be so in tune with what we've seen with the previous villain. If you're familiar with the comic books, if you're familiar with Mysterio from previous source material, I don't think that people were expecting you to go in and just be like in awe or in shock by the twist, because we know as comic book readers, as people who are familiar with Mysterio, they know that us being in the audience, we're not going to be surprised by that. I feel like that was mainly placed there as to keep true not only to the source material, but also for those who might not be familiar with Mysterio and who he is as a character, to kind of etch that in so we can have others learn more about him. What we really see grow in this movie is also the relationship between Happy and Peter. In Spider-Man Homecoming, Happy's kind of like, I'm just doing this because Tony's telling me to, you know, like they don't really have like a super close relationship. Peter is more seen as like a nuisance more than anything, and just like a kid that he has to like manage and take care of. But in this movie, you see a different side of that. You really see their relationship grow, and Happy is really there for Peter and provides that father-like figure that, you know, Tony was to him in some way, shape, or form, and also guiding him. We really see Peter Parker become a full-fledged Spider-Man in this movie, and I think that what we can look forward to in upcoming future Spider-Man movies is, now that we've really got past that growth period of Peter coming to his own, I think we're really going to see him excel in future Spider-Man movies to come, if Tom Holland will still be on board, which I would hope he would be. In this movie, you know, there's a lot of comparison to Tony, and he's really dealing with a lot from what's happened, and a lot of stress and trauma from what happened in Endgame. They still did a good job of getting it across that this is something that is happening. He's really feeling that pressure to be Tony, and is dealing with a lot from people, dealing with a lot from Fury, and how like he needs to be the one to step it up. You see him blossom into becoming the hero that he wants to be, and that he needs to be for the people, not so much a successor to the legacy of that someone else has previously set. He's creating his own legacy as a legendary hero. All in all, there's not much I can really say without diving into too many spoilers. Personally for me, and what does this mean for the future of Marvel and the MCU, I honestly don't feel like this movie was necessary to wrap up everything. I honestly feel like Spider-Man Far From Home should have been an opener to Phase 4 more than a closure to Phase 3. There are 2 end credit scenes, so stick around for everything, and some pleasant, nice surprises for me that really got me hyped up during the end credit scene, and that really makes me wonder, you know, what can we expect for the future of Phase 4 and future movies to come. I honestly feel like this next phase of Marvel, we're really going to go on the galactic side of things and cover a lot of what's going on in the different galaxies and space, and I'm honestly hyped for it. We've already got like so much to look for with the potential cast with Eternals, and a lot of potential major villains for the next phase of Marvel. So, you know, who knows what we'll see, and who knows what we'll see at Comic-Con. But I want to know what you guys thought. Did you like Spider-Man Far From Home? Do you plan on seeing the movie? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. All our links will be in the description below. And I will see you guys on the next movie review.